Hi Virgo, thanks for tuning in. My name is Linda. This reading is going to be for whenever you watch it. If the messages that you find in here are relevant and pertain to situations that are currently going on with you, then you might find messages and information in here that you might find relevant or helpful. So you could be a Virgo sun or a Virgo ascendant, or you might be watching this reading because the person that you're dealing with is a Virgo and you're looking for a little bit more insight into your connection with them. So this first card here is where you are now. This card represents the challenge you face, the resources you can use. These are the hidden forces. This is the potential outcome. And from the runes here, we're going to pull one for what is the spiritual lesson. Okay. This looks a little challenging. It seems like in your situation there could be some challenges with coming to a clear state of mind about what it is actually that you're dealing with the Ace of Swords in reverse. You might feel a little bit lacking in awareness or understanding, or you might feel like you don't have a clear awareness or insight about your situation. There could also be some challenges with communication in your current circumstances, with both of these two swords cards showing up in reverse. There's also a feeling here of a little bit of depleted energy, like you don't feel necessarily super inspired right now. You might be feeling a little physically depleted as well, because the circumstances might be kind of challenging or feeling a little heavy. I'm getting that energy in this reading. With the Three of Swords in your reading in the position of the challenge that you face, again, yeah, sorry for the sigh there, but it does feel a little heavy. It feels a bit overwhelming. It feels a little emotionally draining. There is some pain to process. There's some pain to process. The thing about the Three of Swords, though, is that the swords represents the element of air. And air governs ideas, thoughts, and communication. So while the image represents the heart, it's important to remember with the Three of Swords that the pain that you're experiencing is actually more about the way you're thinking about the situation or the communication involved in that situation. So So with the Three of Swords being in the position of the challenge in your situation, what this is explaining here is that what you're dealing with here is a process of healing through reconciliation. There's something here that requires recovery or restoration. And of course, again, because the swords element is pretty strong in this reading, I would say most of that is going to happen through conscious communication, for want of a better word, and it's going to require a lot of emotional intelligence and humility. King of Wands in the reading here is in the position of the resources you can use, and that's where I would say I'm getting that feeling that humility is going to be a really important aspect of making your way through this particular situation, with the possibility of having the best possible outcome given the elements that are at play in your circumstances. What's also going to be important here, again, as the King of Wands in reverse is describing, is to maintain a calm demeanor and to not allow your temper to get too fired up such that it clouds or interferes with a clear process between you and another person, let's say. There's also something here in this reading about sacrifice or compromise, or something that you need to give up or let go of in order to evolve past the current energies in the way that they are presenting here. So I say that because the Judgment card is in the reading here, and the Judgment card is a very challenging energy. It's a very big, strong energy of being tested by the universe, let's say like that. And this card is in the position of what is hidden from you. So given all the other cards in the reading that are kind of around the Judgment card, it's like you may have undertaken some kind of let's say maybe you opened up an opportunity. Let's say you maybe opened up an opportunity for yourself, and in doing so, there were some challenges that arose as a result. And in moving forward into exposing or expressing or fully embodying the opportunity that you created, there is now something that is required of you to surrender or to compromise or to let go of. And that's the process here of the Judgment card. I love the Judgment card in this deck. I want to try and get it a bit closer for you. So you see how the snake here is shedding its skin, and there's sort of like, it looks like a moth maybe there as well in the image. So these totemic symbols are discussing or describing, talking about a process of transmutation and evolution. So, you know, for the snake to reveal its fresh skin, it has to surrender and compromise its old one and go through that process of shedding. Same for the moth. For the moth to become realized into its fullest form, it needs to surrender and compromise and let go of the form that it has known itself as. So that's fundamentally the process that you're in right now. And maybe you're not aware of that because this card is falling in your reading in the position of what are the hidden forces. So this is what you cannot see. Maybe right now all you can see is the challenges that you're facing and the difficulties and the maybe the suffering that you're experiencing. But the light here is in this awareness that you're actually transmuting and transforming in a really profound and deep way. Like what you're going through right now might seem incredibly painful and difficult, and there might be a lot of obstacles in the way, or not obstacles, but what's the right word? You might be finding yourself at your edge in many ways, as far as like what you've known before, or what you've dealt with before, or things that you've handled in the past that you knew how to move through or work with in order to kind of break through something that was challenging and difficult. But this feels like really different terrain, really new terrain that you might not have especially had much experience or any experience at all in. And so that's what feels really challenging here with the Judgment card in particular. It's like completely uncharted territory, and there's there's a sort of need for you to be able to continue stepping forward, one foot in front of the other, not really knowing where it's going to take you, or even how necessarily to respond or behave or react in each given moment as new elements and new factors are emerging and being revealed in the situation that you're in with the people that you're dealing with. I'm just coming back to the King of Wands now, and I'm seeing that another energy of or another resource that you can use, right? This card in this position represents the resources that you can use. So what I'm feeling there with the King of Wands in reverse is that it's really important, and it's a key part of this experience for you to move forward and get the most you can, or to reach to kind of garner the possible best outcome in the potential situation or the potential energy that's available to you in your circumstance, that you practice the most raw, vulnerable, and real, authentic self that you are. And for some of you, that might be finding ways to express yourself that you have never been able to do before. This might be about also accessing parts of your psyche, of your soul, of your spirit, of your awareness, of your consciousness that might have been buried quite deep within you for all of your life. You know, like there might be ways here that you are accessing parts of your personality, parts of your nature that have been maybe hidden from you and from others for the longest time. And so that's also something that feels a little challenging in this particular energy, is that you're being called to really dig deep and go into the most vulnerable and authentic you that you can uncover. And that might feel rather daunting for some of you. But I'm here to tell you that in this process, in this experience, while it feels very challenging right now, the layers that you're uncovering are gonna bring you so much more liberation and freedom and expression, and a sort of I'm feeling also this kind of gentle energy that is coming through that you might not have fully really embodied before. It's like there's this now what I'm tapping into is part of your nature, part of your personality, which may have always been rather fierce or very strong in the way that you presented, or very maybe sometimes defensive or a little domineering. And I'm feeling this really gentle, soft energy opening up. If you're hearing what I'm saying, and you're kind of touching on that energy of vulnerability and authenticity, that will provide you, not only in this situation but moving forward, a sense of freedom and liberation to your own desire to protect yourself that you've been carrying around for a really long time. And so this is part of the healing that you're going through right now, is being able to access parts of your true nature, which are actually very vulnerable and very gentle and soft and real, and are willing to be free of the need to protect itself. And this is a very huge part of your awakening process that you're going through right now. So if you can relate to what I'm talking about, please don't shy away from that, because this is a big opening. That is what I'm talking about when I say there's things that you need to surrender or compromise or give up. It's that defensiveness or protectiveness or that kind of guarded energy that you may have been carrying around, whether or not you've been aware of it. This vulnerability that you're opening up to, this softening that's occurring, is a huge part of your growth, of your awakening, and of your personal power that you're moving into. Now, in the position of the potential outcome, you have the Five of Wands here. In this deck, it's called oppression. But what I'm feeling with this energy, as far as the cards and in the context of the rest of your energy, is that while in traditional readings the Five of Wands might talk about conflict and argumentativeness and competitiveness, how I'm seeing it in this reading is that it's actually a very beneficial energy that is bringing about the opportunity for a roundtable conversation. All right, so there is in here the potential for when people come to each other with that genuine ability or genuine desire to be vulnerable, to be real, to be authentic, and to face the circumstances that are being expressed and revealed from a place not of what do I feel I need to say so that my needs can be met or so that my voice can be heard, but rather how can we approach this situation or this topic from a place of what is the highest possible outcome for everyone? How can we utilize this situation or these circumstances to create the greatest healing that's possible? How can we work as a team? How can we work as a with a sort of a perspective of evolutionary? Give me a second here. Just want to bring the right words to this so that it actually really hits the point exactly. I'm getting this feeling of equality in this reading, like with this Five of Wands especially. It's like it's not about hurt people coming to the table and wanting to let the other person know how they feel hurt, right? Which is already something we've talked about here. But the potential energy in this reading is more about how can we create an evolutionary leap for everyone that's involved in this. Like what do individuals need to see? So this is as much about you or the other person airing their grievances and letting you know what's occurred and how it made them feel. But if everybody can kind of set aside their ego and come from a really humble, authentic place, and for that to really work, people need to see each other as equals. People need to come with unconditional love and compassion to be able to not only speak what they see about the other person that they are observing or witnessing as something which has some limitation that could be expanded, but also to be able to receive that same kind of feedback and critique. Do you understand what I'm saying, Virgo? I hope this is... So Virgo, I just gave the most epic transmission on this rune here, but I hadn't realized until I've closed out the video that I'd accidentally pressed stop on the record. So I'm going to go through it again now, try and recall everything that I just said there. But in regards, this rune is in the position of your reading representing what is the spiritual lesson here. Now this rune is called Perthro. I'm not sure if that's the correct pronunciation. But this rune talks about secret matters and hidden things, occult things, occult information, mysteries coming to light, and initiations and revelations, which is tying very nicely back into the Judgment card, because the Judgment is also about that. The Judgment card is about revelations. It's about initiations that are urging you or causing you to have pretty major transmutation of energy and transitions in life from one phase or one cycle or one entity to another in your human expression. So that's what's on offer here in this energy with these cards and with the current circumstances you're in, is that you have the potential here to really open up to some mysterious things that have been hidden in you. Not just things about your own self, but this is also about you waking up to maybe latent abilities that are within you that have been kind of masked or hidden behind the protective barriers that you've been wearing as a result of kind of the way you've been moving through life in order to feel safe. That's one way that I could read this energy. It's also saying here that this is giving you the potential to move out of a stagnant energy in one or many areas of your life, whether that's in a certain comfort that you've been in with the ways you relate, or whether that's to yourself or to others. This could also be shaking you out of maybe addictions or some kind of behavioral patterns that are, again, comfortable crutches that are limiting you in some ways from getting closer to your fullest potential. There's also here like a feminine energy as well, like opening up to, again, more of that, like I was speaking about earlier, with this sort of gentle energy that I was feeling of you kind of opening up to a more vulnerable and soft side of you. If you've been the type of person that's been kind of keeping a barrier between you and others in some ways as a way of trying to protect your feelings or protect your heart, this is somehow also, this situation is helping you to become more vulnerable and open, which inevitably, in every way, will help you open up more to your psychic and spiritual abilities. So all of this is basically leading to the same one point, which is that this is a massive evolutionary leap for you in your personal and spiritual trajectory. And there's a lot of healing here. And even though it feels uncomfortable right now, you are in this stage right now where, like the snake shedding the skin, or the moth coming out of its cocoon to emerge in a new form, there is for sure discomfort. But once you pass through this initiation phase, what will open up for you will be something beyond beautiful, beyond what you can possibly hold in your imagination right now, because it's outside, just outside of your current awareness. So keep moving forward with this process. Don't give up. Don't be afraid to deal with those uncomfortable conversations. Don't shy away from them, because that's where the magic is. So Virgo, I hope you've enjoyed that reading. It's been an absolute honor and pleasure to deliver these messages to you. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye for now.